you in front of the camera, answer the questions, and then type your answers.
All right, we trying to do this whole thing. This is, man, this is gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna type it here. I'm gonna talk it here. I'm gonna do the whole thing. But anyway, so I like this
Just
one, man. Yeah, what's up,
remember to
buddy?
say everybody's name.
Yeah, for sure. Names, names, names. Oh, look at right off the bat. I got to put Nate's gross teeth. Nate's gross teeth. He's just. What's your favorite Nate Diaz story from your time on Tough? You know what? To be honest, I think the biggest thing is just his. He was there for business. I mean, everything was. All this chaos and mayhem and everything was just kind of going off. During the show, and he had people fighting, and some people got kicked off. I think we had the most technical street fight ever. You know what I mean? But he just kept about his business. I remember the time he said, "Hey, I got to fight someone on my own team. It's kind of uncomfortable. Can I go train with BJ?" I was like, "Of course," and I understood why he asked. I mean, it was awkward having to sit there and the guy that you're fighting, Corey Hill, rest in peace, he is on your team. And so I was all for him, like, yeah, man, I'm sure, you got to go over there and train with him. But that's the one thing I think it's just, he's the same kid he is now, man. He didn't mess around. He was there for business. And now I'm going to try and type this too. Oh my goodness. Okay, bag of meat product. He's gonna kill me. All right. Hey, I remember watching you with my dad a long ass time ago. I'm jumping right in right now. VHS to Blu-ray. This guy. Part of the reason I started watching MMA is because of my father. But I think I remember before one of your fights, you were training out of a garage on the preview video, and no, I did. I trained my boxing gym, Alley Cat Boxing. It was my favorite, man. It's the one thing I loved about that garage. It was cool because he had a lot of kids. He had a kids program where he just had people come and train and stay out of trouble, and we'd have to pull the cars out, and all you needed, man, it was living proof. It just didn't matter where you were with training, or it didn't have to be this high super facility and all these state of the art. That'd be nice, state of the art equipment, stuff like that. It's just all about work ethic, hard, get in there and put in your time. And that was him, man. He ran the time, and we had to go each station. So I think there was 8 stations, and we had to do each of them 3 times or 2 times, just depending on how far the fight was. But yeah, one of my favorite places in the world was in that garage, man. And then the kids program would come in afterwards, so we would take it over. I know me, Robbie, a lot of guys have stopped in there and was boxing, and it was so yeah, it was a good place, man. It was real cool just to be part of his family, and real thankful he let us in. And then you get to hang with the kids afterwards and kind of mentor them and watch them do their thing. So yeah, it was real cool to be a part of that. Yeah, that's the Alley Cat Boxing Gym. It's gonna be tough right off the bat. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that one, but uh, McTitties 420 420. These names are the business, man. I ain't playing. I love these names, but um, it's what is your worst, and I would say most traumatic childhood memory? And I think you know it's um it's all bad. I mean, in one way or another, but I wouldn't want to just single out any one thing. So I think more than anything would just be, just seeing the fear. It's just the fear, Um, trying to figure out how I want to answer that. I'm getting every titties 420, 420. And, oh my God. I'm reading what he has underneath there. That's damn, he funny. It was the living on eggshells, man. And then what I mean by that is you never knew, what was going to set him off. And so as a kid, that's horrible. You don't want to be loud. You don't want to make any kind of commotion. You don't want to, you're trying to be as quiet as you can. Everybody's trying to, don't make him mad. Don't make him mad. I think that was probably the most traumatic aspect of it is just the living on eggshells. You never knew what was going to be the set off or the ignition to the rocket, man. We needed, and then what was going to set him off. So I guess that's what it says. Overall, I would say it's just living on eggshells, man. You never knew the ignition to the rocket, what was going to set him off. And I think that's probably to this day is still something that, is still tough to deal with. Oh, here it is. And who's hit you the hardest overall? I love this. So Open Flame Recon. See, I'm already beeping. They're like, dude, my favorite. So he says, what is your favorite punch or kick I've ever thrown? And who's hit me the hardest overall? Well, my favorite punch is without a doubt my favorite punch. My favorite punch is a left hand to the liver. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that is it's man. You know what I mean? Is yeah, my favorite punch is the left hand to the liver, and it's a liver shot's the worst damn thing in the world, man. And I think if you've ever seen them, it's pretty impressive, you know. But it's one of those shots where you're wide awake, and it just when it quits, you just fall, and you're wide awake, and you're completely helpless. You're just like, oh my god, you know, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So that's probably the most vicious. And then who's hit me the hardest overall? You know, Stephen Pauling, I think hit me the hardest because, and I'm not saying it because hit me the hardest because it was a punch that. See, there are punches, Joe Lazone things you don't see the punch, and you just wake up and you're like, "Oh, what the heck happened?" Like Dwayne Ludwig, you know, I've been knocked out. Don't get me wrong, and but they're punches you don't see, so they're punches that didn't hurt. You know what I mean? And this was a punch. Hold on, I'm gonna try and figure out how to type this in. See, I like saying it, y'all. But if we could just do this speaky thing, oh, I'd be loving life, right? But I was awake. You know, that's the thing. I didn't go down, and that's the one thing that when he was hitting me, and I remember saying to myself, "Oh my God, I wish." I remember saying, "Man, I wish this would knock me out," because I'm like, it was the most painful damn thing. I was like, "Oh my God, please! I wish this would knock me out because it hurt so bad." I'm thinking it's in a fight. You're just like, "Ow!" Like I'm literally going, "Ow!" Wizard of Law. Do you think BJ Penn should retire? I would never tell anybody when they should retire. I understand people, you know, looking out for the safety and stuff like that. And obviously their intentions are great, and I get that, you know, just looking out. But that's a tough thing, man, just looking out for the fighter. But, you know, it's tough, man, because it's I remember saying it in the documentary. It's like, how do you die twice? You know, how do you kill off the athlete? And then obviously we all have to worry about, you know, that day we uh, we move on to another life or the afterlife, whatever it is you want to call it. But you know, I mean, for me is you know, I think that was the hardest thing. You know, having retired, and I understand with a lot of people, you know, is I know they're just looking out for the fighter, but man, that's a tough decision. But it's a tough decision. It's a tough thing to let go. You know, especially when it's all that you know. You know. Oh, I love this one. Damn, rotten punch. What's up, son? All right. So, what's your most dramatic memory from fighting? The one that pops up in front of you, in front of your thoughts, whenever you reminisce about your career. Phew, you know, ah man, that's a tough one, and it's a yeah rotten punch. What's my most dramatic memory from fighting? The one that pops in front of your thoughts whenever you reminisce about your career. The one thing, man, there's regrets, and there's thing, man, it's
That's a heavy question.
yep. I think so. I think it was when I caught by Joe Lazone, and it's not because he didn't deserve it or it wasn't that. It's just it just happened so early. I was so happy to get back into the UFC. I was so happy to be back, you know, and I wanted to be more competitive than that, but it just happened so fast. It was such a quick punch, and I mean, next you know, you're waking up, you know. So I think I just didn't want it to end so fast. I think that was it. You know, I really there's a lot of different ones, but I think that was the one because it was coming back. And you know, this is after being the world champion, after being this old school beast that fought everybody. To then this started becoming in new, you know, new new fans, bigger. The sport's getting bigger, and this would have been a great opportunity. But that's one of those things. I just wish it wouldn't have happened so fast because it made me look like I didn't even belong. You know, Buzz Nights, and I like this question because you know which current fighter do you think has your same skill set? Which one would give you the best challenge? Now, when I do this, um, when I was world champion. So there's two fighters. There's always two fighters with me. There's the world champ that only lost one time to Ludwig in the beginning, for a long time. And then there's the guy that everybody remembers that went on that 7-fight losing streak. So I think a gummy bear would have beat me up back then. But so the guy before the animal, Frankie, Frankie Edgar, we were small for the weight class. You know what I mean? And everything was relied on an insane conditioning. And that was like, I always looked at it like everything was a video game to me, man. It was, and I tell people all the time, fighting's like a video game. You got those your stamina bars, and you just got to get theirs down to zero. You just got to make them work. And I used to tell people, the one thing about when I was a world champion, when I was then, my cruise control was set at 65. So I'm already pushing you. I would take it up, wouldn't go to 100%, but I'd take it up there to that 90 miles an hour. I'd push 90%, and then I'd go back down. My cruise was 65. So most people, they want to do this big burst and then have this huge rest, this big burst and this huge rest. My goal was to, when you thought you were going to be able to take a breath, that's when I'm coming back in you. When you thought you were going to be able to stop and go, get some air, that's when I jumped on you. And I truly treated it like a video game, and it was all about trying to just put that away. Everybody's got skills, and when they're fresh, they can land punches, they can land, submissions while the skin is dry, stuff like that. So my goal was to just keep it simple and just outwork you and just make you perform at a higher pace than you were used to, and that's kind of the only thing that really, I think, saved me, a lot in the beginning. And so that's why I like Frankie Edgar, is that his skill set, a lot of heavy hands, less kicking, more takedown defense. I was a sprawl and brawl king. Um, and that's the one thing, that's why I love his skill set, and I just look up to him a lot for what he does, and just for what he's accomplished in this sport. He's an incredible fighter. And I would say that's why I say him. Typing all that out, beef, but I'm trying to keep him short so I hope it doesn't drive everybody too nuts in it. So what do you have to say to fighters? I'm thinking BJ Penn as I type this, who refuse to retire. And thanks for joining us. Survival Bay Area. Oof, that's tough, man. That refuse to retire. It's you can see it, huh? Can you see the eyes watering? Damn it.
It's all good, man.
Um, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling anyone how to end their athletic story. I know it's tough for fans and family that love you to watch the fighters struggle. But it's tough for a fighter to have to realize they're no longer that world champion. They're no longer that threat in a game that they love so much. That's all I can put. Is that bad?
No,
Why would that be bad, man?
I don't know. Like it should be longer or
You
something.
good, man. No, you good.
Oh. Okay, now I love this one. All right, Blonders won. Thank God. Woo! All right, put that back. Put that back. Could you tell at the time you were dealing with a crazy talented cast on Tough? Also, it's a joke on the no Hall of Fame nod yet. Yeah, it's gonna be an up and down. Let's ride this roller coaster. um, no, I didn't know. Okay, man, I didn't realize it was gonna be that intense. It was every day. That damn Rover. That damn Rover was at the office, was at the gym, and you knew something bad was about to happen because that's Dana White. So every day that damn Rover of Dana's was at the gym. And you knew somebody did something. Man. Every day that damn Rover of Dana's was at the gym, and you knew, like, damn, Man, I remember going. I'm like, oh man, what in the hell happened now? Man, every day. Gordy. What were your thoughts on Joe Lazon before fighting him? I knew he could get down. That's the thing. I knew he had no problem fighting, man. I knew he had no problem fighting because there was like videos of him and his brother like fighting at the damn like at the like the family picnic and stuff. So I knew this kid no problem fighting. The special one, the special one. What's my opinion on weight cutting? Man, I didn't learn it till the end. I mean, I had the old school ways, you know, starve myself, not drink water, you know, sit and go run, do all these things. It wasn't until later that I truly learned how to cut weight, where it became, I mean, it actually became, it was fun. And that's one of the things, you know, learning how to do it correctly. It became a pretty cool game at the end. And, I think you see a lot of people, it's all about the rehydrating and what you put in your body after you make weight, but learning how to cut correctly is massive. The fact that you don't stop drinking water, you continue to drink water, and you go out there and I think you just everything. It's such a regimen that I mean, it's awesome once you get it figured out, and you need to have that person or that one person, that team that can get behind you. Sorry, I'm looking at three things at the same time, but you just need to have those people behind you that you trust, because I mean, you're gonna go through some mental issues. I mean, oof. I mean, it mentally crushes you. um, cutting weight, starving, and all that stuff. Just a minute, you have to just limit yourself to the food, but you have to believe in the process, and that's so. Once I learned the actual art of cutting weight, it wasn't as bad. But the whole idea of on weight cutting, they're always going to do it. You can add 17 weight classes. I don't care. It doesn't matter how many weight classes you add. Someone's always going to go, well, I weigh 160 now, and if I starve, I could weigh in at 130. I'm going to be so much bigger than that person. It's not even going to be funny. And then so they're always going to cut weight. You know what I mean? Who's your favorite active fighter and why? No, I mean it's pretty easy who it is. It's Robbie Lawler, because I am watching my little brother achieve everything he's ever wanted to achieve, and it's huge. And I mean that's the biggest thing. I mean, I'm watching him. I'm watching it's. And I mean, I've known him since he was 17 years old, and I'm watching my little brother win world titles and do what he loves, and that's huge, you know what I mean? And then the same thing watching my real little brother, but he's always at the fights, and that's one thing with Robbie, man. He's absolutely he's family. He'll tell you the same thing. We go back a long ways, man. A lot of video games, and so it's amazing to watch him, and he's got one coming up, so it's going to be. I'm a nervous wreck every time he fights, and I love the kid. I love what he's done, and he's last, man. He's the last of the dying breed. The MFS crew, the originals, and so he was such a youngster, and you know, it's just awesome to see what he's doing. See, that run he went on, win, lose, or draw every time. It's just great to see Robbie go out there and perform. And I still remember, man, a long time ago when he got that nod, was in the UFC, just a youngster, dude, fighting Tiki Ghosten and stuff. Man, he brought tears to my eyes back then just to watch him do what he's doing. Um, it's yeah, and to see him win the world title, and just to see the person he's become. He's there's a lot of great fighters. I don't want to throw any names, but family wise, man, that's the Bob or Robbie, the Bob. But don't don't call him the Bob. That's for me.
A question from Twitch chat here is from Aunt Nessa.
Oh damn!
What is the most dangerous thing you've done to cut weight, if you've ever done anything that you would now consider unsafe?
Just not drink any water, not eat any food for 2 days, and try to work out as hard as you can and train, and basically just starve and just let all that just rigor mortis just set in inside your body and just make it just horribly. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, dude, I did it like a dinosaur back in the day. I would just starve and wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink anything, and then would just go try to run and train, cramp up, just like everything would hurt, and probably should have had a heart attack at least 4 or 5 times. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't learn it till later about how much you actually, drinking water and like pounding water and like getting overhydrated, and then dropping sodium and getting all the fat off of you is the first thing you can be able to do to help, to help you cut weight and make those weight cuts more successful. Then it's just a matter of dropping the sodium at the right time, having the foods instead of not eating. Don't starve, because your body, when you starve, your body will do everything. It'll hold on to a Cheeto for dear life. It won't let anything go. You won't pee. You won't you know what I mean? You won't go to the bathroom. Your body does everything to hold on to it because it thinks it's starving. So you got to, again, it's one of those things where you have to feed it. It's just small meals, little meals. Raw broccoli, he knows what I'm saying right now. Worst damn thing in the world. But eating raw broccoli, man, is you're actually losing weight eating that stuff, but your body doesn't think it's starving. Your body still releases, and drinking water, that's a huge one. Those are the two of the things. I made a huge boo boo back in the day. I would just starve. And then it used to be so painful trying to, in that very beginning, to try to put water back in and drink again. And that's, yeah, that was tough, without a doubt. Yeah, that. I'm still waiting to see if my kidneys are going to kick me in the balls for that one later on.
All right. Our next question comes from the Seven Bomb. He wanted to ask, boxers or briefs?
Oh, boxer briefs.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxer
Man?
briefs. Boxer briefs.
Oh, the
Yeah.
combo. Okay.
And he can't wear white, and all the dude wipes I can get my hands on because I'm too old to be having streaks. So I stay out of the white. Stay off the white ones altogether.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Big Sag Daddy asks, are you still the table tennis world champion?
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I went basically because we got paid for that thing, and it was like all the fighters got to win money on that, and so I made my quote unquote pro debut against BJ Penn. I won and retired, so I walked away undefeated. I'm good. I have not ponged since. I haven't even played the video game version of Pong. Get the old school Pong going on. I haven't done that. Um, Not walked away, retired. I retired from that bad boy. PS Skitty or P Skitty. P Skitty. I like that one. I like that P Skitty. So I'm like going PS Kitty. So P Skitty. All right, mate. What have you been up to post retirement? Gaming.
Lots of gaming.
Raising my family. Basically, what have you been up to post retirement? Gaming, lots of gaming. But seriously, though, it's been a blast getting to stream and game. I love interacting with the fans. It's been great. It's been a great path for me. After fighting, what I mean by that is, it's for a while I sat there and I spun, man. So many people they don't know what to do, and it's like you got to find your passion. If once you can direct that passion to something that you love doing, man, I became a world champion when I can find something that I'm passionate about. I'm diehard. It's something I want to do, like fighting back in the day when I showed up. I got off a train. I was on a train for 2 days. I showed up in Iowa with a bag of clothes, one for living in, one bag for living, one bag for training, and I'm like, I'm here, and I just took off. I mean, I was hell bent. I had this passion, right? That's the one thing that I think has been the toughest part about being retired or retire. When you're retiring, is you got to find that same. You got to learn how to turn that around and find it in something else. I see the way Faber, he's got just business up to. Yeah, I mean, he's out there. He's achieving one thing left to another, and that's what you're doing as a fighter or an athlete. You know what you're doing. You know how to be dedicated. You know how to be that one track you can get there and stuff. Find that path. For me, I was so used to having a coach or somebody like, here's the deal. I'd always tell them, you put a workout in front of me, you lay out my schedule, I'll follow it to a T. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can go, people can say, hey, where's Jen's going to be 5 days from now? And I'd be like, hey, hold on 1 second. I'll look at the Leo and go 5 days from now, 3 o'clock. He'll be right here. It says he's going to be at this workout. He'll be right there standing there. You know what I mean? And I would follow that thing to a T. What I'm learning now about retirement, what's more and more what I love again with this Twitch, and I love being able to work with, I keep wanting to call him Snoo, but Sean and Cody and Thomas, aka Seven Bomb. is I'm learning how to. You got to learn how to be your own coach. You got to learn how to put your own schedule in front of you and then be able to follow it. I never, when it came to me, I'm like, whatever. I would just have like 18 different things. I'd chase shiny baubles all over the place. I was just running rampant. But when someone took the time, and that's what I told Thomas, I go, hey, I'll stream. I go, I'll get over this anxiety right now. I'll get over this fear I have of being in the public, and I'll game. If you take the time to put down the schedule and you take the time to get behind me and believe this, um, that I won't let it down. I won't, I won't, you know what I mean? I won't, because that's what I am. That's my job. I'm a champ. I'm a fighter. I'm a dog, man. I'm just there to just pet him, just put him to work. I'm a workhorse, and I just want, hey, did I do good? Did I do good? I grew up being coached. Coaches saved my life. So finding that life coach that kind of guides you, that's the one thing I've been having a lot of fun with. I think that's what's making it so easy to kind of stay away from fighting. Because I know, man, my time is up, and there are times it hurts, but you know, it's now learning how to turn that same kind of dedication and that same kind of love and passion into something else. And I found it, man. This Twitch, this gaming, this is it for me. And I hope it turns into something because I love every minute of it. So that's the long answer to that. You're gonna get the shortest little one because I can't type, but that's it. Johnny Violent, number one. I love the name Johnny Violent. That's savage. Uh Oh, aside from winning the UFC belt, what's your favorite fight-related memory? It's memories of being with my team. I love my team. I will always be grateful for the years we all trained and pushed ourselves to represent the MFS logo. So, see, you can tell you ain't getting much more out of me on that one. I love them. I love them all, man. I miss them. I miss them all. P Skitty. He's like, man, that ain't my name. P Skitty. And then I love because McTitty's 420 jumped in. But how did it feel to be in the presence of a stone cold warrior in Andy Wang? And then another put, I hope he answers this. I liked him.
Answer it.
I love the kid, man. Hey, he joined the right. It took him a little while, but he joined the right team at the end, right? it took a little kicking in the ass, but it took a little kick in the ass from BJ. Booted Wanger off the team, and so I adopted him. So not only did like he had two guys go home. I can't remember the big fight, the most technical street fight that ever happened. Marvin, Noah, and Martin. So man, he had like 300 street fights. Oh, you got to forgive me, I'm punchy. Anyway, Marlon, and they got in the street fight, and Monster Lobster, I believe, was in there, and evidently there was still a stewing pot of lobster bisque still in the oven when they got the booter. I'm not sure how it all happened, but they man, I still remember that. But then, so he lost two people. I think I had a fighter get booted, and then I ended up getting Andy on my team. Man, that's a long time ago, but I believe that's what happened. So I ended up getting Andy because BJ kicked him off the team. I loved him. I remember at first he was nervous, like, oh man, I don't want to come on because of the way it all kind of went down, the whole team divided in the beginning. But he was good to have, man. He was a blast. He was a blast to have on the team, for sure. And I'm not just saying it. No, he really was. What's one rule change you'd like to see in MMA? Canadian bacon daggers. Damn, son. I don't know. What's one rule you'd like to see? What's one rule change you'd like to see in MMA? I'd like to see the judges learn how to judge. It's the judging that sucks. Yeah, but the rules are fine. It's the judging that needs a hug. We'll just leave it there. Oh, hell yeah. First, I'm jumping ahead because this one caught me. So, in honor of our moderator, this is Blacker_Jesus. In honor of our moderator, breathing farts. Since he's not here today, I have to ask: pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? Yay! Right? It's got to be on there. What? What are you playing on PC lately? Swing your little ass over to the Twitch and you'll find out. PUBG, everyone. PUBG. But if you're in here, you already know.
Metal Gear Donut asked, "What is your favorite anime and why is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?"
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Is that what he asked? Why is it JoJo?
Why is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Yes.
I didn't realize. Is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I'm in if it is. I think I'm gonna say it is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because it's exactly that. It's a bizarre adventure. So I'm gonna just say that's kind of why I like it. Even though you got me, I'm gonna absolutely Google it and look it up when I get done, so I can know what in the hell I just said is my favorite. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Believe this right now. Boom. Is there one modern fighter you'd want to fight if you were in your prime? Who would it be and why? Oh, believe this one, Samoan Gator. All right. Damn, that's such a kick-ass question, too. I don't even know. Man, I feel bad I can't get to all of them. Oh, my God. I got to tell this one. Okay. Hey, Jens, I hope you're well. This is Ender45. This is a story. This is, there's no way I can type this, but damn. So what was the moment that made you decide to retire from MMA? The long story I'm going to tell, but the short version is the moment I realized I had to quit chewing. Okay, well, because the moment I realized I had to quit chewing. All right, so here's the story. I always told my wife, I mean, I would quit. I'm done chewing the minute I'm done fighting. You know what I mean? Because she's like, oh, you got to quit that habit. It's nasty, this and that. And so I was chewing, and I'm like, hey, it helped me. I was in this belief that it helped me with my, curb my appetite. I could throw a chew in, whatever the reasons were. Anyway, so I was going to Australia, and when I got to Australia, they don't sell chew. It's like, so I had, you have your log. I have a big log of chew that I was bringing with me, and I get to the hotel, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's gone. I call my wife. I say, hey, do me a favor, and she said, yeah. I go, open up the freezer. She's like, yep. I go, is that log in there? She's like, yep. I go, man. She's like, what? I go, there's no chew in Australia. I go, I can't find chew. She goes, oh. And I'm like, well, guess I'm retired. And I quit chewing right on the spot. Never touched it again and retired.
Damn.
Never touched it. Never. So I just assumed the jet lag and everything that I was feeling anyways the whole time just kind of allowed. I figured that's why I was feeling like doo-doo anyway, or whatever it would be. But yeah, I just cold turkey quit chewing right on the spot and I retired. Never fought again after. Done. Never even thought about it. That was it. I promised her I'd quit chewing when I retired. So I go, well, guess I'm retired. Quit chewing. Done. See, I couldn't tell that. I couldn't post it, but Lord Zeeth just followed. Thanks, Lord Zeeth, for the follow. I don't know. Is that kind of cool, though? Blasphemix. Gents, you're an angel, man. Love you, too. No, literally, that's the answer. Love you, too. He put, Jens, you're an angel. I put, love you, too. So he said, so this is prize gloves. What have you been up to lately? I put gaming. Are you coaching? Nope. Doing seminars. I want to start doing seminars, but I need to gather the courage to put myself out there and teach. And, and I just said, thank you for having me. But that's the one thing, man. I want to, but I can honestly say, I'm like, to this day, I'm like, why? No one's going to show up. No one wants to hear from me. Nobody cares. That's just me being negative. That's how anxiety rumbles with me, and it's the things that it say. I told you I'm my own worst enemy, so I'm learning how not to be a hypocrite, and I'm learning how to be a better person. That's another reason why this whole deal on Twitch and gaming and being kind of live, the first couple of things that have messed up, I panicked, man. I freaked out. I'm like, oh, my goodness, they're all going to make fun of me and this and that. I still have that. You know how hard it was to fight in front of millions of people and get knocked out? That sucked. But it'd be worse being dead scared and not fighting ever again. That would have been worse. So, it's one of those things. It's just like I want a game. It'd be worse than you know, having something blow up or something stupid happen in front of everybody, and you have to just be like, "Yep, my bad." Not even trying. I think that'd be worse. I'd really hang my head. So I'm working it up. I think the hardest part about coaching is, and I had to literally walk away from MMA. That's why gaming's helping a lot because it's too easy to be what someone asked earlier, which is I can do this. I can still fight. Oh, I can still feel this. I feel great. And then and get back in there when the reality is, nah, man, I can't. So once I can let go of that, then I know my time will be I'll be a lot better off coaching and teaching and stuff like that. I don't want to be away from the sport forever. I just want to be away long enough where it doesn't hurt so bad that it's over, and then I'd like to come back for sure. This is from Zigazagga. Hey, Jen, just wanted to give big thanks. First off, massive fan of you, seeing you in action, UFC 35. Whoop! Damn, modern VHS from form, obviously. Um, love it. But you've done professional MMA from 1999. Damn, we had to put a year on that bad boy to 2013. Old. Obviously, been involved onwards. What would you say have been the biggest changes in how people train MMA from when you started to nowadays? Knowledge, knowledge. It's without a doubt. Because in the beginning, nobody knew what it was. So you just had, I mean, you had martial like taekwondo teaching just taekwondo, or you had people when they would fall to the ground, they just sat there on the ground. Jujitsu knew jujitsu. They didn't have stand up. They didn't have boxing. They didn't have all this hybrid. It's advanced so much from the very beginning. Think about that. I mean, nobody would leave their gym, their comfort. They were TKD. They stay in TKD. They didn't go over. I was a wrestler. I didn't leave wrestling. I went to a boxing gym. You know what I mean, and started learning how to punch once I got dropped. But I mean, that's the one thing that it's just more well-rounded. Everybody now understands, and that's like what I put here is people my age or close to it. They have been in the cage and are now retired, and now they're passing on their knowledge. I mean, you're lucky to get a guy like Pat Miletich, I mean, a Matt Hume. Woof! Yeah, I mean, people like that, Jeremy Horn, any of my teammates, but any of the fighters, I can't just say I don't want to name names, without because you leave about 50 out at all times. But a Fricklin, all these guys, I don't mean anything if I don't say a name. I'm just trying to be fast. But now we've had these full careers, and now we're retiring. And we used to say that we would talk about this when we were coming up. None of these guys had MMA careers before because we were the pioneers. They didn't even have 155 pounds till I got there. I mean, it was no rules. And you'd see a guy, if they knew ground, they didn't know stand up. They knew stand up, they didn't know ground. It was pretty much that cut and dry until wrestlers came in and kind of screwed everything up. And they were just kind of dictating where the fight would go, and so I think that's the biggest thing is just knowledge, man. People have gone out there, they've experienced it, they've tried it, they've understand it, they've built a system, and they have brought it back, or you never had to do it your entire time, but you've watched it for 16, 17 years, and now you're, what I mean, and now you're passing on the wisdom. So it isn't just about being in the cage, but it's been around that cage and being something. You could be a phenomenal. I mean, I like to think I could be a great football coach. I never even stepped on the field. I'm not, but you know what I mean? Some people just are. Whew, let me think. Okay, yes, I jumped right there. So if there is one modern fighter that you'd want to fight if you were in your prime, who would it be and why? Okay, so again, if there was one modern fighter you would want to fight if you were in your prime, who would it be and why? And then thanks for doing this, man. I've been a fan of yours since I discovered MMA, man. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Okay. So what I put is, you know what? I would fight any world champion out there right now, from 155 down to 135, because I was thankful I started the 155-pound division, so there was nowhere else to go. 155 was. I'm like, woo, we got 155 pounds? Yeah. I was so happy to start that weight class because there was no weight. It was 170 before that, and then it was no weight classes, a few years before that. So it would have been great to be in my prime and be able to fight at 135 pounds. I wrestled every year at 135, went to 141 in college, so it would have been phenomenal to be able to fight at 135. But I was so happy to have 155 compared to what, at one point there was no weight class, and then 170, Matt Hughes and, and Pat Miletich. Hell no, I ain't fighting them guys. They're crazy. Those boys are killers. So I would have been thankful just to that would have been so in my prime. See, it's a tough. I'd have fought any champion you had at 155 down to 35. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Wouldn't even have thought twice. How's MMA today different from when you first started? I'm gonna give this. I love this useless. Useless Wallace. You wanna know how it's different? Back in the day, I'm gonna use it by this. Back in the day, we were booed. So can I do that BOO apostrophe D booed, or that can I do the boed?
But yeah,
Huh?
BOO apostrophe ED.
Yeah, but it says wrong. But I'm just gonna throw it in there anyway.
Oh. Do it however it says.
See, but look, it doesn't go red when I put BOO apostrophe D booed.
Well, you good?
Right? All right. Back in the day, we were booed. Right? So we were booed. I mean, how do you say that? I figured BOO apostrophe D booed. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or we were taunted. I guess I could change the word, but you know, back in the day we were booed for shooting, just for shooting takedowns. We were called mat fags. They wanted bona fide tough man boxing. You know what I mean? So that was, and here's my favorite part. Back in the day we were booed for shooting takedowns, and we're called names for it. I didn't need any shirt smaller than an extra large. Back in the day, I'm not kidding you. I don't know how that works. I don't know why it works like that, but I didn't need any shirt smaller than an XL. So back in the day, we were booed for shooting takedowns, and we were called names for it. You know, they just wanted a slugfest. I mean, that was the biggest thing. They just wanted people to wanted blood and guts, man. And that now, I mean, it just became a lot more subtle. They understand the knowledge has increased so much, not only in the fans, not only in the fighting, but with the fans. They know it. They know guard play. They know submissions that are coming up. They know all the things that are happening. They can kind of see things building, see the setups and stuff like that. So it's a huge difference than back in the day, man. It was just kill him, knock his head off. Boo! You shot a takedown. You mat fag. And all. I'm like, God dang, really, man? It's all, you know, stop humping him. It's like, I'm just trying to wrestle, son. But anyway, so that, you know, yeah, you had to deal with a lot, man. You had to deal with a lot. Somehow the judges just never caught wind, but everybody else is advanced except them. They're still like, oh, he sat in his guard. He must be winning. Dude's on his back the whole time. Yeah, throwing triangle chokes and arm bars, but no, he gonna lose. All right, let me see. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so, PhD in MMA math. How different was the atmosphere for a fighter between the UFC and Pride back in the day? Crazy. The crowd. No ifs, ands, and buts. The crowd. I still remember 66,000 people at a Pride event. I remember Jeremy Horn fighting in an event in Japan. And we used to laugh because the coaches, we need you to do this. Hey, you got to run out there. You got to grab him like that. I still remember verbatim Jeremy Horn leans back. He was in some kind of guard control, leans back and goes, I know. I can hear you. It's not, he's like, you don't need to yell. I can hear you. And then he went back to work because the crowd was like Wimbledon. They would watch, and then if you did something, they'd clap a little bit. And then when they started to see the fight was about to end, they'd be like, oh, and they would ignite. But it was quiet, like quiet. You couldn't intimidating. I still remember that, man. We'd come over there and, yeah, Jeremy, got to do this. He's like, I can hear you. I can hear you. It's like, dang, man, is that, so that was the biggest thing I still remember to this day. It was so quiet compared to here. It was loud, just, you know what I mean? And it was a huge show, but over there, that's the one thing, it sticks out in my mind. Poof, forever. Okay, so what would you say is your biggest high and your biggest low in your career? Never answered this before, but I'm gonna change it up. I put winning the UFC title was my biggest high because I worked so hard for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, winning the UFC title was my biggest low because once at the top of the mountain, there's only two choices. There's only two choices. Stay at the top forever or try to land softly when you come down. That's about all you got, right? So that's my. I think that would be my biggest low is that I couldn't hold on to it forever. You know what I mean? Or is that too much?
No, I think that's a good answer.
That's not
I
bad,
mean,
right?
that
Stay
makes
at the
perfect
top
sense.
forever or try to land softly. Does that make sense? Try to land softly when you
Yeah.
come down. I like that. See, it's kind of quiet. It's 420. 420.
Well, we gave everybody the links to the Reddit page, so they may be over there reading questions and asking over there as well.
Okay. So tough when you did it with the beat Jake. So what is my most hilarious story from Tough? Okay, so what happened was Corey Hill, he walked into the gym. He walked in and he was 6'3", 189 pounds. Kid was a monster. Looked right at us and said, man, I need help. Like, what he's like, he goes, I don't have much knowledge in this MMA stuff. He's like, I padded that record. He never fought before. And we're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me right now. And like, nope. I'm like, oof, really? So he was so new to the sport. He was very green. So we all got together. I remember this. We all got together. We made this commitment. We're like, all right, here's the deal. We got to keep winning. We got to have control of the hammer. I know we called it the hammer, and we needed to keep winning so we could keep picking the fights. And all that while we're crash coursing this kid 2 weeks, 2 weeks straight of bed. We're drilling him, drilling him, drilling him, drilling him. So as far as he came and then had to fight Nate, he made it as far as he did. It was amazing because he walked straight in and was like, yeah, I don't have much knowledge about this stuff. And I remember there's still a video of him. This is my zone. This is my home. Nobody gets in my zone or my home. And he's walking around with his guard. And Jeremy Horn was coaching him and stuff like that. So yeah, he was a green machine in that aspect. So we had to. It was real important for us to keep a hold of that. We had to keep a hold of the hammer, and because we knew, like I think they figured out they knew how green he was. We're like, well, we got to protect him. So it was cool. Everybody came together. We had our little sit down, and everybody came together, and we're like, all right, so we're gonna try and protect him. And everybody decided how they were gonna fight, who was gonna fight what, who was gonna do what, and who they wanted as their opponent. I'm like, all right, everybody picked. I'm like, okay, we're gonna start. And so we had it all laid out, when they were gonna fight, who was gonna fight next, and as long as we kept winning, that's what we were out to do. So and we did, man. We kept it. we kept it protected until there was finally no. That was crazy. That's why and he had to fight Emerson. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, he had never had a fight before. He padded that record. So it was it was it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun, and I think the biggest thing about it was, um, yeah, it's just so crazy to think about it. So I'm lucky that we were able to keep winning and so he could get some skill sets underneath him, at least find the style that he wanted to have. Oh man, if you could be any animal in Africa, what animal would you be? Phew, man, I'd like to be a fish just so I could be underwater. No one ever gets to hang out underwater. Um, you know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, so best technical tip for me when punching, one hand stays home at all times. Anybody know what that means? Keep one home while one's extended. The other one can't leave till the other one gets back. So you keep one hand. Look, you're here. One, you're not. Look, and one. You don't get to do this. We don't get to do this. We hit, boop, boop. One stays home. One hand stays home at all times. Keep your chin down. And try not to close your eyes. Try not to flinch. That's about as good as it gets. That's as sound as that's coming right there. They'd be like, what a dumbass. Who says that? Hey, just don't flinch. Just don't flinch. Shit, I want to answer that just to answer it. Joy. Dana White offers your wife $500,000 to fight Cyborg. Do you let her take the fight? Man, all 91 pounds of her? Woo, that's going to be a butt kicking. Yeah, no punches, no leg kicks, and no grappling, and then we'll do it. T-Bitness. Hey, gents, we've met plenty of times throughout the years, of course. My cousin trained at MFS for quite some time as one of your teammates. One thing that came to mind with the steel, sharpened steel approach that military fighting system had back in the day, Wednesday night epic sparring matches, guys going 110% at one another Would you change the way things were done given the recent findings of the severity of CTE? Obviously, tough to look at in retrospect, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't know if I can actually answer that in a short deal, but I don't know if this will go off good or bad. So I just put, you know what? I don't know. I say yes, but that would just be on a medical standpoint. Sure, you know what I mean? You hear about that. I'm talking to you two, snoo.
Yeah.
Now, but I say no because medically this is not the smartest thing to be doing if you want to be mentally healthy in the first place. I don't, you know what I mean? Should I put that or does that not?
No, I mean,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It's one of those, which one's more important, the now or the later?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I say yes, but that would be on a medical standpoint. But I say no because medically, this is not the smartest thing to be doing if you want to be mentally healthy in the first place. So we had to do things to get ready. You know what I mean? You gotta spar and have things get thrown at you, and we gotta grapple. We get choked, and you know what I mean. There's all kinds of things I'd love to change. I mean, it's that little padded headgear everybody feels safe with. Well, guess what? Your brain's still getting walloped with that thing. It's those 16-ounce gloves that are on your hands. Well, guess what? I'm still moving your brain around when I'm popping you in the head. That those pillows ain't doing nothing for your brain. That's all there so that you can spar longer. You can. It's for your hands. It protects your hands. It doesn't protect your head. It protects my hands so I can punch you more barehanded, you don't get to punch very often.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. But it was so quote unquote barbaric, they had to put gloves on. The reality is, it looked physical. The physical damage was so bad, the cuts and things, but the mental was it wasn't mentally doing it. Putting those pillows on your head, putting a pillow on your head and pillows on your hands, your brain's still getting jocked. Boom, 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 boom. But then you go into something else on top of that is when you get knocked out or you get a concussion, you get put on a 90-day suspension. You're not supposed to do anything. How many times do you know people in sparring stuff get their bell rung, they get dropped, they wake up, they take the rest of the day off, and next Wednesday, guess what? They're right back in. It's not our job. I mean, we're not medical. We're not. That's not. I don't know what you're doing. You know, that's the hardest thing about it was, is was it the coach's fault for not making us sit out for 90 days? And would I have listened to them if they tried to sit me out for 90 days? It's one thing when you got sat down as a fighter, but it's a whole nother thing to sit and practice. You're paying to be there, and this is your choice, your prerogative. Is you want to come back and you want to spar again next Wednesday. Well, medically, they would tell you you're suspended for 90 days. And if you got your ass knocked, I mean, completely out, you're out for 120. So the point, but yet you're coming back the next week. Am I supposed to tell you no? I'm not your mommy, your daddy, your doctor. I'm your friend. And I would say, hey, man, that might be a bad idea, but I can't force you to do it. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people want to put it on the actual fight itself. Man, there's so much times it's, again, the headgear and stuff like that. So it's not, that's why I'm kind of really just saying I say yes, but that would be on the medical standpoint. But the reality is, this isn't medically, this is a terrible sport to be in the first place. And if you medically want to be safe, you know what I mean? You're getting punched. I mean, it's, who wants to do that? I guess. So is that kind of,
Yeah, it sort of ranks up there with like fire breathing to me, right? I
yep.
mean, like, you can't really. If safety is your biggest concern, then
This
you
isn't what you
probably
should be doing, right?
doing
That's
the
it.
wrong thing.
That's, yep. I'm not riding a bull. I want to be safe. I'm not getting on a bull. My favorite album. My favorite album. All right. So there's a lot of country. A lot of country. But, and if I had to, yep, Cody Jinks is one nasty little buzzard. Boy, I love that guy. There is, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I just, here's what it is. I have songs. That's what, wait, what's your favorite album? No such thing. I have songs. Based on my moods. No.
What's your favorite song?
I have favorite songs and favorite singers. Huh? Just depends. Is it country?
Yeah.
Are we going rap? Are we going, I listen to everything. So it just, I mean, country, Craig Morgan, you know what I mean? Christian, I got, oof, man, I can't, man, Craig Morgan's one of my dearest friends. I love the man. And I mean, there's, whew, you know, there's a bundle. Um, A lot of reggae when I'm gaming and running. Cody Jinks, like I said, just listen to him. Crazy. You know what I mean? Um, I don't. I'm trying to think. That's the deal. There's no way I could. I mean, I got Bonnie Raitt sitting right next to Iggy Azalea. Oh, really? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I got the Marshall Tucker Band and Keith Whitney, Elton John, and then you go to Cole Swindell, and then there's Timberland, The Way I Are.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then I keep going down. I got Candle in Wind with Ed Sheeran, then Ditmas Decide with Lil Mumford and Son. I got some, dude. I got Ed Sheeran a bundle in here. I got some Pearl Jam. I got Silverchair and a song. Um, I mean Jamie Johnson. It'll just keep going, and then I can just flip over here to what I was just listening to. Um, that was so now I got to go back to recents, and I go down to. I mean, there's a lot of Moana because the kids depends who's in the car, who wants to listen to what, you know. So
Oh yeah.
there is a bundle. I mean, I have a bundle, and then you get over here to SoundCloud, and then hell breaks loose over there too. So I don't even know. Oh, Stick Figure right here, based on Stick Figure. These guys are unreal. I love these guys. I'm gonna get right into here, and I never even typed it. See, I don't know. The choice is yours, so it just depends. I don't know. There's way too much. You know, when you're out there running, doing your deal. I've got a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of people that I love to listen to and stuff, and I love it, man. But if you got into the car right now and you started it, country music's gonna be on there. It's country music, and yet,
Yeah, that's a
ironically,
good one.
that question, literally one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 words. And it took me half an hour to answer because I was like, I don't really know how to, you know what I mean? What did you think of the reference to you in the UFC 149 promo? Oh God, I loved it. Yeah, head and brow. He looks like Jens Pulver. Oh, he has Jens Pulver's smile. He has Jens Pulver's smile. Yeah, head and brow. Y'all don't remember that? Nobody? Just me? That's awesome, man. Oh my goodness. I loved it. I love it. Uh, that was perfect. Mark Hunt's PR guy. I love it. I don't know if y'all just seen that, but it's that old Hennon Burrell got Jens Pulver smile when he's getting ready to fight favorite. Oh, that was still one of my favorites. What are my thoughts on the current state of the lightweight division considering you were the first ever champ? Big ass boys. They are much bigger than me. I'm a proud papa. Yeah, I'm a proud. I just put. I'm a proud godfather of the lightweight division. Diggity. Omar Kamal. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. There's one thing that has changed. So hey, Jens, you're an OG, so I'm interested in your thoughts on the evolution of fighting over the years. Is there anything you see today that blows your mind? I assume it's easier for us to be impressed who've never fought on that level before. Okay, so this is kind of a yeah, I love it. But for me, is man, the fan knowledge and support for the fighters is simply mind blowing and awesome. I'm always blown away by the crowds whenever I go watch the events live. That's to me, that's the biggest. That's the biggest evolution for me. The fighting, people still punch, people still kick, people still do what they do, but it's the fans, man. It's just how much they love it, how much they get behind it, how much they know the knowledge. Like I said, I keep talking about it from back in the day when they're like, rip his head off, shit down his neck, and to nowadays they understand passing of the guard to the subtleties of the game. You know, they don't get bored. They understand a masterful chess match that's happening out there. Where back in the day it's like, boo, two idiots, bumping chests and doing nothing, and having to deal with everybody wanting to just. I mean, they're just trying to throw stuff at you. So it's definitely that's probably the most flattering thing of all. Is we go out there to entertain and we go out there to for our fans and for the people of the sport. So it's real cool when they take the time. That's still the thing that blows me away is the fact that people take 30 seconds out of their day to talk to me in the world, man. That's such a gift. It's an unbelievable gift, and I can't thank people enough, man. It's just, Tannenbaum. He says, I have no clever questions. You're an absolute legend of the sport. Thanks for taking the time. Whew, that's as clever as it gets right there, buddy. Thank you for dropping in. So what do you think these people doing in chat are doing right now? They're like, man, he boring the hell out of me.
I think literally nobody is thinking that.
No questions, just saying thanks for helping pave the way for allowing your documentary to be made. It's the top 3 MMA documentaries I've seen, and I love you for it. JT_33, thank you, man. Oh my goodness, Manuel CA. Look at that, Manuel Cadavid, Manuel Cadavid. Choo choo, mother truckers. I like that. Hey, gents, what is a fight you would not like to run back? I guess it depends. Would it have the same damn outcome, or could I run it back to try and change the outcome? Because then we go back to that same damn fight, man. I want to redo that. I want that damn I want that Lazon fight changed. I didn't want it to end like that. But the same token, it could have ended quicker. So I guess I should just be thankful. What is a fight you would not like to run back? Damn, I thought I wanted to answer it, but then I'm like, man, that's a tough one. Damn, that's a tough one. I thought I was going to just rip off an answer real quick, but once I really started thinking about it, man, I got no real idea. I have no real idea what I would do. That's it. Don't know, man. I don't know. He said, Jen, does anyone give you credit for seeing what a beast Joanna was going to be? If not, let me be the first. Your commentary on that Cage Warriors fight was on point. So that's, I don't know if a lot of people, if they know or not, but Joanna MMA, she was fighting Rosie Sexton in Cage Warriors, and I was commentating. Go back and look it up. I go, nobody wants to mess with this one. Nobody wants to fight this girl. This is before what just happened. So she went on a long kick-ass streak. And literally at the end of that day, she was going in to Invicta, and then instead went bypassed and went straight into the UFC. And the rest, we all got to see Joanna MMA do what she does with that belt, for the longest time until this last fight, which I'm not going to say shocked because, it's the fight game. Things happen, but she did a lot, man. She's got a lot to hold her head up. She shouldn't be ashamed of anything, but you go see the commentating on that bad boy. Yeah, it was, I was just blown away. I was making noise. I'm like, I'm like, nobody. I told him, I go, nobody wants to fight this girl at 115 because they were all doing they were all in the fighter house doing the Ultimate Fighter at the time. I'm going, nobody wants to fight this girl. No one. I go, she's going to destroy every one of them. And she did. Made me look like a pariah. I was like, nope. Oh, I love this one. What would you have done if an Irishman had jumped the cage during one of your fights? Buzz Knights. Well, if anybody would have jumped the cage trying to come at me in one of my fights, I'll tell you right now, I would have laughed my ass off. If someone would have jumped the cage during one of my fights that came at me, I'd have laughed. I'd have laughed hysterically because Miletich, Horn, Hughes, Lawler, even my little brother, they'd have been kicking that dude's ass long before he ever got to me. They'd tear him up. That's the one thing we still talk about. The hardest thing in the world was to watch one of them fight, being in the outside. I wanted to go in there and take. We were that close, for a long time, and oh God, this is killing me. But man, we were just a pack of misfits. We looked out for each other all the time, man. I love those guys, and that's just it's like I couldn't wait to get in the cage because that was a better place for me. I'd rather be in the cage fighting and representing them. I didn't want to see them get punched any more than they want to see me get punched. You know what I mean? So it was just safer to be in the cage. so yeah, if he'd hopped that cage, come after me, I can already tell you, we've been in locker rooms. I'm telling you right now, I already know what would happen. It'd be an ass whooping. It'd have been the Diaz boys. They got nothing on this crew when they back in our time. It was, man, for sure. God love him. And there's a lot more names. I'm just throwing out a couple, but there's a bundle, man. Fricklin, all of them. Ubird, rest in peace. Oh, well, we were pretty tight knit. They say Hannibal has your smile. Do you agree with that? Right down to the funky teeth. But I don't really want to say that he has right down to the funky teeth. I'm just gonna put it. Hopefully, they find that he finds humor in that. Like, you saying my teeth are funky, and he said when Goldberg called you a little eagle, did you consider just running with it? Hell no. I ran. No, run with it. No, I ran to him and told him what the name was.
All right then. So some of this, the first one here is from Diamond Andy in Twitch. It's a three-parter here. Some of this you may have kind of alluded to a little bit before, but he says, "Dream fight, and what's the worst fight you had?" And then he says, "I noticed that you signed with Cage Warriors, but from what I remember, you don't fight for them. Any reason why? Or you didn't fight for them? Any reason why?"
The Cage Warrior thing. We were gonna fight. I'm not sure. I was getting old, and it's one of those. Am I retiring or am I you know what I mean? Am I retiring? Am I gonna fight? Am I retiring? Am I gonna fight? And I just didn't like being in that limbo. So it was just I was done. And they were gonna give me a shot and let me go out there and fight, and I'm thankful. And I was commentating for them. And then, I just didn't fight. I mean, and if I did later, maybe I chose one more or two more, but it just I don't know, to be back in the and I'm trying to remember back, but that's kind of the idea. Was I was going to be a commentator with him, and then things just didn't work out. Things didn't happen. The rest of the question was what?
What's your dream fight? And what's the worst fight you ever had?
The worst fight I ever had is I'm still having it, and it's with anxiety and depression. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. It's a huge fight. It happens all the time. It just drives me shithouse. But for the most part, I'm extremely happy, so don't get me wrong. It's just anxiety sometimes keeps me from coming on here and doing things like this. I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared to death because I'm like, oh, man, people are going to say things. They're going to rip on me. They're going to tell me. So I'm my own worst enemy. So I'm learning how to become my own best friend, and but I'm my own worst enemy. So that's been the biggest fight probably forever. But I know you want to talk about in MMA, so um, again, the worst fight, it was. I'm not sure, man, because I had that losing streak. It was just one dumb thing after another. I just kept doing stupid things after stupid things, and they were all bad. And the fact that I just, I knew that wasn't me, man. I knew that it wasn't me. I knew that I should have been, I could have been, and should have been. You know what I mean? It's you're this world champion at one time. You're one of the best. One of the best on the planet at one point. You were crushing things. Then you just go on this losing streak, and you're just like, what's happening? I mean, that's the one thing about I'm going to answer the long version of this. Like with BJ and so, where I don't tell people that they need to retire because there's in me too. What kept me trying to go out there and do all them losses is I kept trying to figure out what can I do to fix this. I'm not. It's not like I'm sitting out there trying to learn how to be a fighter. That's not the problem. I'm trying to remember how to be the world champion that I was. I was a beast, man. I used to just wreck things. You know what I mean? It's like, where'd that guy go? So it's not like I'm out here trying to learn right now and I'm losing. And, I'm out here losing these fights. I'm trying to learn how to fight. It's more like I'm trying to remember where in the hell did that dude go? Why did I become this scared, timid, too much thinking, too much, fighter? How in the hell did this happen? So I think that's one of the things that I know that's what kind of pushed me a little longer was I wanted to fix it. Somehow I wanted to correct that. I wanted to be able to adjust that and change it. And, so that's, to me, that's, that, I think that was the tough part. So I think that's been one of the biggest fights, but in it, um, I know one of my favorite fights, again, fighting BJ the first time, the second time, the fights with Faber, were incredible. The fights with Vasquez, all of them, all the fights. I think, it's just two different years, two different times, but that battling and just trying to figure that out, holding on too long. So was that kind of it?
No, I think that answers the question pretty good. So we had another question. This was actually originated on Reddit. I think it was like the last question for a long time, but then the barbershop's kind of been hinting at it a little bit here and there. And it's is it cool for people to not hate Joe Lazone anymore? or do they still need to hate him?
I love him. I love Joe. I've always loved that kid. I've always loved him. There was never ever a reason to hate that kid because I knew if you were a James Power fan, it did suck. I mean, he walloped it, but look at the fighter he became. Look at the person I mean, he walked out there. It was tough being on the Ultimate Fighter with him. I mean, that was crazy, but he's had an incredible career and it's awesome to be able to talk to him. And I'm a huge fan, man. Shit happens in this game, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And, but I can't take away anything. Being retired, the people I've met, the fighters I've got to know, man, it's insane. I mean, like I said, I got to talk to, like I'm sitting here talking to Uriah. There's not, I love all of them. I love everybody, man. We went out there and we put on a show. We go out there to fight and we lay it on the line and we fight our asses off. And, that's what we do. But I love the kid. I think he's phenomenal. He's got so many things to look up to him. He's a great person. He's an awesome individual, and he's had just an unbelievable career. And it sucks that I had to be the first chin that really helped launch that sumbitch into the next stratosphere. But such is life, man. That's the game for sure. All right, pumpkins. We'll see y'all a little later on. My peoples. For all the followers, sorry, I'll yell at you later and say thank you so much and everything like that. So yeah, I guess we'll play some Pub Jesus. You guys want to see the ending of this deal? If you haven't before, I'll show you. This is so cool. But yeah, Evil's out. I'll see you guys 8 o'clock my time. What's up, everybody? Come on through. Check out the stream. www.twitch.tv/JensPulver.